Before we get to tonight's episode, I wanted to take a moment to recognize a legend, the great Bob Gregg, my high school football coach. He died last Sunday. He was 88 years old, and I would say, outside of my parents and my brothers, that he has had more influence on my life than any other person in the world. And I think it's important to recognize people who have done that for you and appreciate it, and think about the impact they've had on you and how grateful you are that they exist. And as leaders, that we have the potential opportunity to be that for others. And Coach Gregg got a hold of me when I was going into my freshman year. So I was an eighth grader leading up to the summer workouts, and I just expected to be a part of the freshman team. I was a pretty good player going into high school, but I wasn't even the best player on my team. But he came to me in the spring of my eighth grade year and said, "I'd like you to work out with our high school guys, our varsity team going into the summer. I think it could be good for you." He didn't promise me anything. He didn't say you'll be the starting quarterback as a freshman. In fact, I never thought that was even in the realm of possibility. I thought maybe I could dress for games on Friday nights as a freshman. Like, that would be really cool, but I would play with the freshman team. But he did something for me that I think it's pretty cool. Was he believed in me. And I think taught me what it means to work and prepare and to respond to adversity, and the fact that a work ethic and dedication and a commitment to excellence can beat more talented teams. And then we went out on Friday nights under the bright lights, and all of that work and all of that preparation came to bear for others to watch. And because of him and because of the great Ron Allery, our offensive coordinator, who is another one of those mentors who means everything to me, we put up some staggering performances. And it all ties back to the leadership of Coach Gregg and his willingness to push and push and push and get us to perform at levels that we did not think we were capable of. I learned just about everything about what it means to be a leader from him. And I vividly remember going into the first game, my freshman year. I was on the varsity team, and I wasn't starting as the quarterback, but he came to me before the game and he said, "You're going to play. And you're going to play meaningful minutes, and you're going to have to make plays for us." And he put me in early in the game, and I made a few good plays. I got settled in and felt like I belonged, and he made me feel like I belonged. And the final drive of that game, we were losing, and he puts me in, and he said, "Execute the offense. I've seen you do it. I know you can do it." And we called a play action pass, and I threw the game-winning touchdown to Neil Lobbs, and the slot receiver streaking in the back of the end zone. I hit him, and we won. I had not even stepped foot as a student in the school yet. Our first game was the Friday before school started. So I hadn't even gone to one day of class as a freshman, and I felt like he had just put me on top of the world, and he means everything to me. And I just think it's important to note excellence, and especially the people who get a hold of you in your formative years. And he's a transformational leader. He's a transformational friend and mentor. And by definition, a transformational leader changes you. He changed me and thousands of other people for the better. So many of the students of Centerville High School, people who didn't even play for him, talked about the impact he had on them as a teacher. And then all of us players, I was fortunate to be a part of the team that helped him win his 300th game. And he gave a brief speech afterwards, and all he talked about was how fortunate he felt for the players and the assistant coaches and the parents of his players. He deflected all praise, gave all of it to everybody else, even though he was the reason for all of that. The decades of domination at Centerville, the tradition-rich history of the school, the Kirk Herbstreits and Mike Nugents and AJ Hawks and so many of the greats are because of Coach Gregg. And I just thought it's worth it for me to publicly say how much I love him. And I'll miss him. I'm just very, very grateful.